Good evening, gentlemen.
Hi, Gig.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Hey, congratulations for the Unthinkable. You must be proud that it's finally us Americans get to watch your film.
Yeah, finally, really happy.
Hey, so tell us where the original idea came from for the Unthinkable.
Well, Sweden is a small country. We haven't been in war for like a decade, several hundred of years. And we wanted to make the audience ask themselves the question, what would I do? What would I do if the air raids alarm went off one morning? What would I think? Who would I call? And what really matters in my life when tomorrow isn't granted?
So are there enemies of Sweden anymore? I mean, after all, it has been quite some time. I mean, was it difficult to basically write a script if a country doesn't have any more enemies?
Yeah, it was. When we started the project, basically everyone we talked to laughed at us, and it's like, this is not possible. But in the time we were doing this film, time somehow caught up with us. The time we live in now, it's more probably that something like this would happen, which is some kinds of scary. Yeah.
Excellent. I love the fact that that your main character is a pianist, which is quite different. Having a musician in a type of movie sort of like this. Talk about making him as a pianist and talk about the music that was actually used in the film.
The music plays a key role in the movie. Not like it's the way Alex is capable of expressing himself. He's not good at talking. Basically, he's tried to communicate with this girl Anna, and he fails. He tries to communicate with his father Björn, and he fails to communicate with his son. But through music, he and Anna can connect. So the music is a key part, and it's a way of making this disaster movie more grounded and more personal and more more personal, basically, and which was our goal.
I was actually very impressed with the action sequences in this film, particularly with the car crashes. Could you tell us how the car crashes were pulled off?
Yeah, the car crash, especially the car crash scene outside the Swedish government, it was like the impossible scene to put together, and we worked really hard on it, and we knew that we couldn't shoot it outside the Swedish government, of course, because that would be impossible. So we rented this old abandoned Air Force place outside our own town, and made these markings on the road, and bought all of these cars, and have this all of the extras on set, and we made all the crashes, all the car crashes for real on this Air Force base. And then we replaced the background with a digital copy of the Swedish government place and in the bridge. So it was a really complex scene in every aspect. It was it was, but it was fun. I think it's actually works quite well in the movie.
Was the other car crashes the one in the wilderness nearby the base too?
Yeah, and everything is shot around this small town we lived in Norrköping in Sweden. So they are all from Albin with you.
Yeah, I think that the big like we have a truck collision with a car, and that was kind of just behind in industrial area. We made the lines on the road there too to make it look like a normal road, but we were there for like a week of shooting, and we were crashing a lot of cars, so we kind of developed an own little system where we made the cars radio controlled, That was kind of the cheapest way to do it, the cheapest and the safest way, not to have any stunt drivers or something. So we kind of made the cars radio controlled. So that was the way we technically crashed them.
Was this underground bunker also near the base? Because transmission sensors. I didn't quite saw it as underground bunkers, but that was such a complex facility that you actually used, that found.
Yeah, there's actually an old power plant, nuclear power plant outside our town that was built in like the 60s or 70s. But when they have just finished it, they never started it because it was changing by the politics and all that. So it's been empty there for like 50 years. So we knocked on the door and asked if we could shoot a lot of our film in here, and they said, okay, why not? So a lot of the kind of all the sequences inside the bunker and also a bit of other sequences is inside this old power plant, and we could just take some parts from one old thing to put together, and we kind of made this control room that's in the film. That's one is like parts from that facility. So it was kind of a fun way to run around in that facility and take whatever you wanted.
I'm call me still impressed is the fact that a lot of this film seems very difficult to produce, from the car crashes to the underground bunker, or to, running in the woods, fleeing and so on. What was the most challenging part of the production for you guys?
I think there's a lot of different kind of challenges. One part that was a big challenge was like the ending of the film in the church, because we are in the church in the film, and in the end we should crash a helicopter through the church, and then we have like the big end scene inside the church when it's kind of it's fire and rain. So that was many times we thought, should we really do this because it will be too difficult, but in the end we kind of actually build the interior of the church. We build inside the nuclear power plant. We build it in scale 1:1, and then we could have fire and we could have like rain there. So that was a big challenge. And when we crashed the helicopter into the church, we built it in like miniature, both the helicopter and the church. So that was we put a lot of time to do these like 3-4 ending minutes in the film.
Before I forget to ask, is there any science behind the rain, or did you guys make that up?
What do you say, Victor? A little science?
Is there a little bit science?
I don't think I really understand the question.
Is it a science?
Science. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, it actually is. Yeah, we researched about chemical warfare, and we find this article about this. I can't really remember exactly what it was based on, but yeah, it is. It's really scary stuff.
Well, if there's science behind it, that even makes this film even scarier. That's for certain. Well, let me wrap it up with one more question for you guys, because for us, we don't see many Swedish films. So how do you define Swedish cinema to us?
Albin, let's go.
Yeah, I think it's kind of, I think when in our world, it's kind of the Swedish cinema. We are kind of a one part that these kind of films doesn't, you don't make these kind of films in Sweden. We make a lot of crimes and dramas, and we're really good at that. But you never see these cinematic, more adventures on the Swedish cinemas. And I think maybe some of the films that have came out the last year that's been big in the world, they have been more like that. But mostly Swedish film is more crime and drama comedy. So we hoping that we could be a bit of a new wave of Swedish films with another touch. And we also is pretty much inspired by the film Let the Right One In, which is one of like the best Swedish film that's been made last couple of years, and so that was a big influence when we did this one.
Terrific. Well, gentlemen, hey, thank you for the Unthinkable. I think you opened doors into a new Swedish cinema for the rest of the world. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.